A regular meeting of the City Council was held in Council Chamber on Thursday, January 25th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on January 23rd, 2018 at 9:55 a.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Councilors absent, just Councilor Sargent. Council President Gerard presided. Councilor Milo moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Now, President Gerard requested that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilor Fury. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public testimony. We have two people. First will be Scott Sternberg. And if you can approach the podium, and as you know, your name and address for the record, please, Scott.
Thank you, Council President Gerard. Scott Sternberg, Pickman Street in Salem. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Wanted to speak to just highlight concerns and the importance of limiting and regulating short-term rentals as it significantly impacts and limits available housing stock and a critical concern for our city of affordable housing. It's so important that we need people who live here to be able to stay living here and people who work here to be able to come work here. Live here, and we need available stock, and we need to ensure an appropriate and more aggressive allotment of affordable housing. I know there was a meeting on Monday night, and I regret that I was not able to be there and speak up there, and appreciate having the opportunity today. I ask that the council act in a thoughtful but expeditious way, not to just wait for not just for asking the state to do something, not waiting for the state to act upon at the state level, but that Salem needs to act. And I'll stop there. Thank you.
Next, we have Jeff Cohen.
Jeff Cohen, 12 Hancock Street in Salem. For all the people who were here on Monday, I'm going to be a little bit redundant, but now I'm on TV. So here's what I want to say about the short-term housing initiative. There's really two things that I think are important to consider. One is that I am personally not against any Airbnb type concept or vacation rental. People have a right to do that. It enables people to potentially stay in their homes longer. But in Salem, if you have 3 units in your house that you rent, you are considered a bed and breakfast. And the building inspector will go to your establishment at least once a year and make sure that you have 1 parking spot off-street parking per unit that you rent. That's costly, sometimes not even possible. Most of the bed and breakfasts that do that are in close proximity to downtown. You have to have pretty significant fire equipment, and you are considered in some ways commercial so that you pay more taxes. So it makes so people who do take advantage of short-term rental that have 3 rooms should fall under the same fair rules, and everyone should play by the same fair rules. One of the things we talked about on Monday was the Boston ordinance. I think it's a good template for the task force and for you guys to consider if an ordinance comes in front of you. And I'm just going to repeat real quickly the components of that. If you have 1 unit in your house, like a bedroom, that you rent out short-term rental as such as Airbnb, you pay $25 a year. If you have 1 unit in your building that's owner occupied, it's $100. However, if you own a property and you rent out units and do not owner occupy, it is $500 and you are not able to rent that unit for more than 90 days at a time. There is no such time restriction on people who have, 1 or 2 rooms in their home that they're renting out short term. They can do that for as many nights of the year as they want. And I think this is valuable because there is an increasing amount, of course, there's not as much data as Boston, which did 2 years of comprehensive research and believes that this is an ever-growing situation. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who purchased a home, lives in a condo in Salem in Ward 1, but purchased a home in Ward 4 for the sole purpose of turning it into a virtual hotel, is putting together a group of people such as himself to become a lobbying group. And maybe he or one of his friends should be on the task force. That may be fine. But the people who are minimizing that this is an already existing issue, by the time we have sufficient data, it may be too late. And as Scott said, you guys have heard me say this a lot. We have an issue with existing rental stock, not rental prices, they're fine, but too many people in Salem are confronted with their landlord telling them that their rent is going up $100, $150 a year. I know people, it's gone up $300 in a matter of 2 years, and that's prohibitive for them to stay in their home. They move out, and their apartment building becomes a virtual hotel. So I'm really talking more about the social justice aspect, and I know that at some point, or hopefully some point, I know Councilors Flynn and Dominguez will be on the task force, that an ordinance similar to Boston, or that reflects what Boston has already been doing and working on, will be in front of you, and I hope you'll consider it. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Hearings.
We have an order for mobility to attach a small cell backhaul equipment to existing utility pole, a non-city owned pole, on Highland Avenue directly in front of the Salem Hospital property.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Thank you, sir, and you know the drill.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Name and address for the record.
Yes, good evening. For the record, my name is James George. I'm the permitting manager for mobility on behalf of Sprint. We are doing a small cell densification project throughout the country. I am managing this project throughout the Commonwealth. I live in Salem, and a lot of my work is in the North Shore, Middlesex County. This particular application is addressing one particular pole that we need. We have a need up on 107 Highland Avenue, right at the Salem Hospital. There is a gap in coverage there because of the high school and the middle school and the hospital and the high density volume of people that need bandwidth on their cell phones. There's a tremendous amount of activity down there. This densification project targets specific neighborhoods or areas. There's current coverage in the area, but as I said, the students are sucking it away. So the notion is to put a small cell on a pole or build a pole somewhere close to the ground and propagate to a number of blocks, not a number of miles. This particular area is very heavy. A lot of traffic, as I said, and a lot of activity. What we are proposing here is along Highland Avenue. You're on your way to Walmart. On the right-hand side of the road is where the utilities is being delivered. You get the primary poles and the wires are on the right-hand side. The hospital side, the left-hand side, you have a series of wood poles standing in the ground 35 feet. There really isn't much activity on them. They're not transporting the electricity up and down the road. The function of these particular wood poles in that area of right-of-way is to guide and kind of hold the other end together. So you've got a wire coming across from the primaries on the right. It's held up by this wood pole, and that wood pole is guyed into the ground. So it's supporting the other side. We have chosen a pole on the left-hand side, one of the guys, which is directly in front of the hospital. The notion is we have a master license agreement with National Grid. We're going to place a 3-foot antenna on top of the existing wood pole facility. Coax coming down, we have 2 appurtenances on the pole. One of them is a radio frequency microwave with two rabbit ear antennas coming off of it. The second is what they call a radio head, which is It makes the wireless system do what it does. It's about the size of a briefcase. It goes on the pole itself. The coax comes down. We have our own electrical meter on the pole at about 70 feet. So that is the hardware activity on the pole as it exists. We're going to take our power from overhead, just like the wire is currently coming across the Route 107 Highland Avenue. We're going to pull it overhead and plug our wireless system into that overhead wire. So there's really no additional wires but for the one coming over. There's no trenching. This particular project does not require fiber to transport its backhaul. It's wireless, so I don't need to dig up the street and get fiber to it. I just need the overhead power to plug in. It is low power. It's going to propagate into the high school, into the middle school, probably as far as Gallows Hill going through that way, probably as far as, say, the Walmart going up towards Lynn, and down into the area of about Bridge Street. So it really doesn't go that far, but it densifies. That is the function. My company has 6 or 7 others that are going to be coming before the body. I have one approved already down by Salem State. Our targets are clearly defined on what we need. I've communicated with most of these city councilors on where I'm proposing to go. So what I seek this evening is the grant of location for that one particular pole to do as I described.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room speaking in favor? Anyone opposed? Councillor Peterson?
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the hearing be closed.
Councillor Peterson moves it. Okay. Did you? Okay. So, do you want to speak after we move the hearing? Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to hold off on that, Councillor Dibble?
Thank you, Madam President. I often speak against these installations when they're proposed right in front of somebody's house for fear of children being exposed to the microwave antennas. But at this location, I have no trouble with it at all. Through the president, it's away from all houses. It's an open area by the parking lot on Highland Avenue. Thank you for listening. Or by accident, it's a good location.
Thank you.
My only issue is, and I also thank you for not digging up the street for this installation. My only question is the very extensive line of wires overhead on a 60-degree angle. So it's not even 45, not even across the street. It's a long diagonal. Why couldn't you just simply go with the other wire that's right across the street and go 90 degrees instead of an extra, probably 70% longer is what you're proposing?
All right, tell me what you're speaking of. Are you speaking of the current?
It looks like the overhead wire to power this device is shown on a 60-degree angle coming down, roughly a block length.
You're right on that. Here's what happens now. We get National Grid down there to do a power design. This was designed by our engineers. Most likely, that could be a circumstance where that particular pole that you described is primary, and they don't utilize their primary poles in order to make something go over to our pole. But how about if I take that into consideration and as a condition to see if we can pull the power from that particular pole, which I see directly at a 90-degree angle over to my proposed facility.
Madam President, I welcome the friendly amendment from our proposer.
Okay. Thank you. So the amendment is to look further into moving the wires?
Okay.
Madam President, to simply run the power line directly across the street instead of at a 60-degree angle, there's no reason to have so much wire over Highland Avenue.
Okay.
I accept that condition.
Okay. Okay. Councillor Peterson?
Okay. So I move that, thank you,
Yes.
Madam President. I move that the hearing be closed.
Councillor Peterson moves that the public hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councillor Peterson.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. I move that the petition be granted once the city clerk receives from Mobility the agreements from the utility companies and as amended for the wire to go straight across instead of at an angle.
Does that sound correct? Okay.
If possible.
Okay.
If
If possible.
Okay.
Just for the record, National Grid does dictate to us what they do, but that makes sense to me.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So, on Councilor Peterson's motion, on Councilor Peterson's motion that this be granted once the city clerk receives the mobility, the agreements from the utility company and as amended by Councilor Dibble. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations to all of your victories.
Thank you. Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Carly Dwyer Knight to serve as a member of the Public Art Commission with the term to expire September 22nd, 2018.
Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Madore moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Yes, under discussion. Very pleased to have Ms. Dwyer Knight as a candidate for the commission. And I think that she will, knowing her background with performance art and education, I know that she will bring another dimension to how we interpret public art in Salem specifically through her work in performance arts. And I'm very excited to see the potential of her experience and even her current work manifested throughout Salem. I was actually fortunate enough to be at one of her current company's productions called Demonology last October. It was a fully immersive role play theater. I don't even know what the proper term to use is, but it was a very unique experience that I don't think can be found anywhere in, at least the North Shore, if not the Boston area. And also her background in education, I think that would really bring a lot of opportunities to engage our children and our youth to experience public art in our public spaces. So I'm very excited to have her on board, and I fully support her appointment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the appointment of Carly Dwyer Nake to the Public Arts Commission, 10 counselors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend the rules to allow Ms. Dwyer Knight to speak to the council if she so chooses.
Thank you. And Carly, you can approach.
I just want to say thank you for putting me on the commission. I look forward to being able to engage the city in a new way and get to develop the city. And I love the city so much that I really, really look forward to being able to bring my talents and my passion to the arts and the communities. So thank you.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Thomas Watkins to serve as the City of Salem's purchasing agent with a term to expire January 31st, 2019.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Dibble moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Yes, under discussion, we're happy to have Tom, as we all call him, Tom Watkins, Mr. Watkins, back here in Salem. While he was here, he did a phenomenal job as our purchasing agent, and I understand now additional responsibilities will be added to his workload, and I wish him all the luck. He is a neighbor of mine, he's a friend of mine, and he does a great job. Well, he did a great job when he worked for the City of Salem, and I fully anticipate that he'll do a great job when he's back here, employed by the city. I did have some issues, if I may, Madam President. I discussed with the mayor about an hour and a half ago on the existing salary was at $67,700 or so, and Mr. Watkins will be making a little bit more than that now, or a lot more than that now, but the role is changing and has expanded, so I'm comfortable not only with his qualifications, but comfortable with the role as well on paper. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Fury and then Councilor Terrio.
I echo his recommendation in the mayor's appointment. He brings a wealth of experience. He worked in the mayor's office as an aide. He worked in the zoning board. He worked in the our city as purchasing agent. Many of us worked in the finance committee with him over the years. He's a top-notch professional, and he brings a great and it's going to be Andover's loss. Definitely the town of Andover's loss. Because Andover is a great town, be a purchasing agent too. So we're great to have him back. So it's win-win for the city of Salem, and it's going to be a loss for Andover. Thanks, Tom, for coming back. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Terrio?
Thank you, Madam President. Just briefly, Tom, you were in the job when I first started in here, and I was very sad to see you go at the time. And I'm really grateful on behalf of the city that you got sick of commuting. So it's wonderful to have you back.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent? Oh, no. Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the appointment of Tom Watkins to serve as the city's purchasing agent, 10 counselors voting, 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend the rules to allow Mr. Watkins to speak, should he so choose. And I think we'll all look forward to hearing what he might have to say.
Tom, you're welcome to speak.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the council. It's certainly an honor and privilege to be back before this body and appreciate your support. Just looking forward to working again with all you, the mayor, her staff, all the administration, and even more so, just very excited to be back. So thank you very much.
Welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Daniel J. Napolitano to serve as a member of the Salem Planning Board with a term to expire March 10th, 2021.
Counselor Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Counselor Peterson moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Yes, thank you. I had a chance to chat with Mr. Napolitano, also known as DJ, recently. He's a resident of Ward 3 and a very active community member. He has an excellent long background in city government and in politics, and I think he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge to the planning board. So I'm very excited that that he's coming, and sort of sad that he and his wife are we're going to lose them in Ward 3 as Councilor Flynn is gaining them very shortly. They're buying a house in Ward 4. So I am happy that I'm hopeful that he will join the planning board.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. Very happy to call DJ my friend as well, and got to know him a little over last year, and I think his experience in Everett would definitely bring value to the planning board, especially seeing how local government works in different cities. Maybe there are assets in Salem that we don't see that he sees. So I think that's going to bring a lot of value to the planning board. And we're just so lucky to have someone who's dedicated to public service, and very happy to support DJ on this appointment.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I also rise to support DJ. First time I had a opportunity to meet DJ was probably about 8 years ago or so, and at that point he had just started working for Congressman Tierney's office, and he made a point of coming in to introduce himself to everybody in the room, and ever since then we've become friends, and all anyone has to do is read his resume and the engagement and the involvement that he has had at the local level. When I first met him, he was a city councilor from Everett, as was just said. On top of that, he was also working in Congressman Tierney's office. He works at the State House now. He works for the Senate President. He is, you name a campaign in the last bunch of years, and you want to know who's been working on it, it was Mr. Napolitano. He's going to bring a wealth of knowledge to that. He's going to bring a tremendous work ethic to it, and I'm really excited that he's going to be that he's actually moved to Salem, because he didn't live here prior, but now I hear he's moving again in Salem. I'm glad he's staying, and I just look forward to his wisdom on the board. I think he's going to serve the city well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counsel Madore?
Yes.
Counsel McCarthy?
Yes.
Counsel Milo?
Yes.
Counsel Peterson?
Yes.
Counsel Terrio?
Yes.
Counsel Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the appointment of DJ Napolitano to serve as a member of the planning board, 10 counselors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent, the matter carries. Counselor Peterson.
I move to suspend the rules in case Mr. Napolitano would like to address the council.
Thank you. DJ.
Thank you so much, Madam President, through you to the members. First, I want to thank the mayor for appointing me. I know planning board is a big role. I was talking to Jeff over here, and he was letting me know of all of the projects that are coming before the planning board. So I look forward to getting to work and working with all of you on that. And thank you for the kind words for the councils that stood up, and look forward to working with everybody. Thank you so much.
Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Emily Larson to serve as a member of the Salem Public Art Commission with the term to expire January 11th, 2020.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Counselor McCarthy moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. I had the pleasure of meeting Ms. Larson earlier this evening prior to the meeting, and unfortunately, Ms. Larson is sporting a very wonderful walking boot, so she's going to do her speech from over there, and it's very aptly decorated. I commented on that as she said after she fell, she has lots of free time. But as anyone can see, that we all get the resumes of everyone who comes in front of us, and as anyone takes 2 minutes just to read this resume, she's immensely qualified, has a tremendous background. She works at the PBS Museum. I think she's going to be a valuable asset to this commission. I look forward to the work that she's going to do on behalf of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Counselor Fury.
Madam President, I had the pleasure of working at the PBS Museum, and she's an asset there, and she should be an asset on this board. Thank you much for serving. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the appointment of Emily Larson to the Salem Public Art Commission, we have 10 counselors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend the rules to allow Emily to address the council if she so chooses. And if she is going to choose, she's going to do it from over there.
I want to say thank you very much for this opportunity and the kind words, and I'm very much looking forward to serving on the Public Arts Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Kurt Yankee Beauchamp to serve as a member of the Salem Public Art Commission with a term to expire January 11th, 2020.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be held under the rules. Unfortunately, he had a conflict tonight, couldn't appear, so we'll just hold it under the rules till the next meeting.
Counselor McCarthy moves that this be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Mary Ann Silver to serve as a member of the Salem Cemetery Commission with a term to expire February 2nd, 2019.
Counselor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I move that that it be held under the rules.
Thank you. Counselor Dibble moves that this be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Jerry Uhas to serve as a member of the Salem Board of Health with a term to expire April 14th, 2019.
Counselor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to have this held under the rules.
Counselor Madore moves that this be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of the following to serve as members of the Salem Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board of Trustees with their terms to expire.
Counselor
Rebecca Curran, January 25th, 2020, and Mickey Northcutt, January 25th, 2020.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move these be held under the rules.
Counselor Terrio moves that this be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of the following to serve as members of the Salem Youth Commission with the following terms to expire. Ashley Blanco, May 12, 2018. Valentina Mendez, May 12, 2018. Ishmael Telemaco, May 12, 2018. And Lillian Kelly, May 12, 2019.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move these be held under the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves these be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of the following constables with terms to expire. Paul Minsky, February 6, 2021. Antonio Vieira, September 28, 2020. Manuel Rabbit, September 13, 2018. And John Ruane Sr., January 20th, 2021.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these be received and placed on file.
Councilor McCarthy moves that these be received and placed on file. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $72,600 from capital outlay equipment to be expended for the purchase of AV and presentation system equipment at the new Jean Levesque Community Life Center by the IT department.
Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This is an outlay to do the wiring work, put in the systems, AV, televisions, controllers, sound systems for the new Community Life Center, which, as you can see every day driving by it, is getting closer and closer to finally being open. We anticipate that. I took a look through the stuff because this is also related to what I do for a living, and they're equipping it very well. I can say that. This is good quality, top-of-the-line stuff that's going in there, so I'm very happy about that. They do expect that some of this cost will wind up being offset in the end from the sale of surplus equipment from the old senior center, but this is a nice jump towards getting things equipped well as we move forward towards completion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Like with any other finance appropriation, if it's not an emergency, if it's not a reason to rush, if it's not moving money from one line item to another, I prefer that it go to a committee that we have an opportunity to discuss. You know, it's $72,000, and this is the first time we've seen it, and we haven't had a single sentence discussion about it. So I move that it go to the Committee on Administration and Finance under the rules, please. Thank you.
Councilor Terrell.
Well, thank you, Madam President. This is not, super time sensitive in that regard, so I have no problem with allowing it to go to committee. I will say, just as a kind of a point of reference on this, that if the city councilors who wish to be involved in this feel that they have the expertise to be able to to refer to what exactly we're putting in there, they're welcome to try and pitch that in. This is what I do, and I'm pretty happy with what's going forward. But again, if anybody wants to ask questions of it, that's fine.
Thank you. So on Councilor Dibble's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, are we co-posting or?
Sure.
Councilor Dibble? Co-post with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $50,000 from the Retirement Stabilization Vacation Sick Leave Buyback account for future employee buyback requests.
Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Councilor Terrell moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Briefly on this is just we have retirements coming up. We try to keep this account funded. People do leave sometimes at a higher clip, and that's where we're at right now. So, we anticipate more retirements to come. We have a couple of them here in the package so this should carry us farther in the year.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none on Councilor Terrell's motion to adopt, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $45,000 from fund balance free cash account to the police medical account.
Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. Move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Councilor Terrell moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. As most of you are aware, but our new councilors may not be, we self-fund the insurance pool for these kind of medical expenses at the police department. They do their best to anticipate costs going forward, but in this case, they have a couple of long-term issues that that have required them to exceed their budget for for medical for this year. So we've done this a few times in the past when we've had to fund additional medical care for officers. So that's what this is.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion that this be adopted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $34,377.64 from the Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback Account to cover the retirement of John Gifford of the Police Department.
Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. Move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is, the good sergeant retired just about a month ago, and so this is his contractually obligated retirement pay, and he had a very, very long and lustrous career with the police department, and wish him all the best, and we hope to see him on the waters this summer.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $28,000 from the fund balance free cash to City Council advertising account to cover the costs in the advertising account for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Councilor Terrell moves for adoption. Under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. This is our fault. We have over the last year, this fiscal year, we have had a lot of public hearings that needed advertising. We've had a lot of ordinances that have gone through the system that have required advertising. Those have costs to them. We have to run the space in the paper. We have to publish it twice. And with all the volume that's gone through, we've blown through the budget for advertising. We normally have a much lower volume of stuff that is passed through. So this is to get us through the remainder of the year and cover all the remaining meetings that we have scheduled and ordinances that we have to publish and joint public hearings that we expect to be holding and all the like. And so, you know, when we call over to City Hall and we find out how busy they are in the clerk's office, well, we did this. So we have to give poor Cheryl some more money to help pay for it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion that this be adopted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $2,500 from fund balance free cash account to the planning contracted services account to cover the cost of the city's share of the North Shore mobility study.
Councilor Terrell.
Hey, Madam President, move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Councilor Terrell moves for adoption. Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This was something we discussed briefly in council last year, but we are working with some other communities in the area about the possibility of doing things like intercity shuttles, having some local bus routes and such that are not within the MBTA system, in the interest of trying to help with traffic control. Help with getting people connected to places within the region and within the city, and see if we can kind of service some of those areas working with other communities. So this is a study that's being worked on to do this between Salem and several other communities, and this is basically just paying some of the costs of preparing all the info so we can figure out how to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion that this be adopted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $1,500 from fund balance free cash to the Veterans In-State Travel account.
Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. Move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrell moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Councilor Terrell moves for adoption. Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Our veterans agent has been traveling more this year, going to conferences, and in particular working with the VA to take advantage of some new claim systems that have been put into place to help us service the city's veterans, and this is to help cover some of the costs of that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion that this be adopted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 14, Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board of Trustees, Section 2-1005, Powers and Duties.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Orders, and Legal Affairs.
Council McCarthy moves that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs. Co-posted?
Co-posted.
Co-posted, thank you.
Thank you, Madam
And under discussion.
Briefly, I mean, it's the mayor, the administration is proposing some language changes to the ordinance, and I just feel it's we should just bring the mayor, one of our representative in, and have a brief discussion. I'll try to schedule as quick as possible to get this out and back.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order for appropriation for $106,696 from the fund balance free cash account to the Department of Public Services equipment account for the first year lease payment of 2 snow removal equipment.
Councilor Terrio.
Hey, Madam President, I move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council under Rule Section 28A due to late file.
Councilor Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted due to the late file with no discussion. So.
Thank you. On Councilor Terrio's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order for an appropriation of $68,500 from the retained earnings water sewer account to the Department of Public Services parts and repairs account.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules under Rule 28, Rule 28A to allow the matter to come before council due to the late file.
Councilor Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted, again due to the late file.
Thank you. Councilor Terrio moves that this should be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order for an appropriation of $18,500 from fund balance free cash account to the Department of Public Services parts and repairs account.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow this to come before us under Rule 28A due to the late file.
Councilor Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Whole.
Thank you. Councilor Terrio moves that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Mayor's informational page, none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, January 25th, 2018. Ordered the monthly financial report dated December 31st, 2017 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
And
Move adoption.
Councilor Terrio moves for adoption under discussion.
No discussion.
On Councilor Terrio's motion to adopt the monthly financial report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Terrio.
Madam President, City of Salem City Council, January 25th, 2018. Ordered that the year-to-date budget report dated October, November, and December 2017 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance. Move for adoption.
Thank you. Councilor Terrio moves for adoption under discussion.
No discussion.
On Councilor Terrio's motion that this be adopted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, year 2018, ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 22, Section 74, General Prohibition Towing Zones. Scary Street, northerly side beginning at Bridge Street and continuing to the entrance of the Carleton School. No parking tow zone 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, school days only. No parking tow zone. And Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
Move for adoption for first
Madam
time.
President, I move for first
Adoption
passage.
for first passage, yes.
Adoption for first
Thank you.
passage.
Councilor Madore moves for adoption for first passage under discussion.
Yes, Madam President. So this was, excuse me, this was brought to my attention by the principal of the Carlton School, Principal Jellison, and Lieutenant Przewski, who sits on the Traffic and Parking Commission. And they had, so far in the school year, 8 traffic accidents so far on Scary Street going in and out of the school during pickup and drop-off times. So Lieutenant Przewski and I went over there one afternoon to observe the afternoon pickup rush hour traffic. And there was quite a bit of a bottleneck going on at the corner of Bridge and Scary. And we discussed a few solutions as to whether we should recirculate the entire traffic flow from Burnside to Scary, so it becomes a one-way on both streets at certain times of the day, or we should ban parking on specific sides of street. And I went back to observe the traffic pattern again with traffic and parking staff, and feel that this brief parking ban for this 1 hour during school days only is the least disruptive of the solutions that we discussed. So I'm proposing to have this be a 90-day trial. So it only requires first passage. I'm hoping that this will alleviate this issue a little more. And if it does not, we'll revisit the problem and see if we can come up with something else.
Thank you.
And I also move to suspend the rules to allow Principal Jellison to address the council.
Seeing no objection, Principal Jellison, would you like to approach the podium?
Thank you very much for listening to me. This has been a growing problem because of the amount of cars that are now parking on that street. In previous years, there really wasn't as many cars, and now it's becoming, Bridge Street looks beautiful. And so people even on Bridge Street are starting to park off of Bridge Street onto Scary Street. And so we've noticed that even on Monday, we had a very bad accident on Bridge going into Scary because the cars, there's just not enough room for 2 cars to go down. So when they were trying to go, someone came around a car and then they had to stop, so the guy behind them went right back into them, and the little boy that goes to our school had to go to the hospital. So it has become a real problem, and we would like to have no parking on that one side so that 2 cars can fit. So that's what we're hoping for. So thank you for hearing me, and I hope that you take that into consideration.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Madore.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Just briefly, I also want to mention that I spoke with the abutters that could potentially be impacted by this brief parking ban, and almost all of them have driveways where they can park. And speaking with them, it seems like they were okay with it, considering so many accidents have already happened, and this would help. And that's it.
Great, thank you. On Councilor Madore's motion to adopt for first passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and, yes.
I'm a little confused. Is it a 90-day trial, or is it a first passage of an ordinance?
It's a first passage for 90-day trial.
No.
No?
Oh, sorry, 60 days.
Wait a minute, let me see that. Let me see. No.
Should we take a recess?
No. Just let me look real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so this should be a trial period then. Okay. It's not a first passage then. This has to be an order, so I'll do this over.
Okay.
It's an order to do a trial period for up to 60 days at that one location. So it's all the same wording, but as a trial, okay?
And so then we adopt rather than,
You adopt, it's not first passage,
okay.
okay? That's my fault for not seeing that.
Okay, let's try this again. So, on Councilor Madore's motion for a 60-day trial,
Yes.
Councilor Madore moves for adoption. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. Ordered that the John L. O'Brien Jr. Register of Deeds or or his designee be invited to make a presentation at the February 8th, 2018 council meeting relative to a new program called Property Fraud Watch. This program, Property Fraud Watch, will assist the homeowners of the city of Salem in protecting their home from property, deed, and mortgage fraud, and I move for adoption.
Thank you. On Councilor Terrell's motion to adopt, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is actually yours, I'll say. So this has been an effort going on at the Register of Deeds for some time, and the council president wished to bring them in to present to us and also through us to the city about some of the efforts that they're doing and the programs they have in place to help prevent that. Mortgage property fraud and improper filing of deeds has been a growing problem around the country, and it's something they're actively working on to try and combat.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion to adopt, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, January 25th, 2018, ordered that the enclosed tag day application for Salem High School swim team requesting January 28, 2018 and February 10th, 2018 be granted.
And move for adoption?
Move for adoption. Under discussion?
Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, the high school swim team got this application into us late. Typically, they would be referred, and then we'd take them up and just pass them at the next meeting. But because of the time sensitive of it, we're taking it up now. So my recommendation to the council would be to move for approval.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion to adopt, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. Excuse me again. City of Salem and City Council, January 25th, 2018, ordered that the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss the use of up to 4 parking spaces on Washington Street to be used in conjunction with the 2 southernmost rows of parking in Riley Plaza for a valet parking pilot. Invited Traffic and Parking Director or his designee and Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce. And
Under
Madam
discussion?
President, yes.
And I'm sorry, you move for adoption?
I move for adoption.
And under discussion?
Yes. So this came out of interest from a lot of the business owners and restaurant operators downtown about potentially using this valet parking as an economic development tool to first alleviate traffic and second free up some parking spaces downtown so that parking is distributed more evenly to help with the businesses. And also the Chamber of Commerce has led the conversation for this, and they had meetings with traffic and parking. They had this pilot, the valet parking pilot, about 8 years ago, but about 8 years ago, the restaurant landscape was very much different from what we have today. We have 2 new hotels, many new restaurants that are more high-end that attract regional visitors. So a lot of traffic coming into the city, and a lot of those visitors would rather just drop off their cars, pay for valet, and not circle downtown to look for parking. And having valets move those cars further away from downtown also frees up on-street parking for downtown. So there's a lot of interest. The cost of the city would only be the loss of revenue for 4 parking spaces, potentially $9 per weekend. And so I think we could talk about making this a trial for a certain period. We could also talk about whether, times. And so I would like to have this discussed further in committee and have the restaurant owners and some of the hotel operators to address the council to see why they feel that this would be a great benefit to them. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. A little curious on this one here. I spoke to the mayor on it shortly before this meeting, and she was a little bit confused that no information had been submitted from the Parking and Traffic Board, thinking that it had been. So a friendly amendment that we, as a council, get some information on this, where on Washington Street these up to 4 parking spaces will be, whether they're down by St. Joseph's, Major Beglicious, out front here by City Hall, and then the additional 2 rows of parking space. How many parking spaces is that? And just to identify a little bit more detail about how many spaces in total will be lost to the general public and used for this service. So I'm not really for or against this. I mean, it's premature because it's going to committee, but we absolutely need more information on it. So a friendly amendment to get the details from the Traffic and Parking Board for all of us, please.
Thank you. Councilor Terrell and then Councilor McCarthy and then Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. I was actually going to move that this, instead of being referred to the Committee on North Licensed Legal Affairs, which has a lot on their plate, that this might be better served going into Community and Economic Development, because this is really a downtown development issue.
Okay, thank you. Under Councilor McCarthy and then Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. I have no problem with this going to my committee. It's relative to, off-street parking. That kind of falls onto us. But all that being said, that's why we refer things to committee. We're just throwing the idea out to see what sticks, and then we're going to take it into committee. Tonight we're not sitting here going to discuss the merits of it, pro or con. It's just we're going to be here. That's why we have a committee meeting, and we'll gather the information. And then we'll make an informed decision based on the information that's presented to us at the time of the committee. So I want to, Council Madore reached out to me, told me what she was going to bring in. I had no problem with it. The same discussion that she just had with the whole group. We're at the first baby step of this. I mean, this is something that the chamber and some of the downtown businesses, in conjunction with the chamber, have been talking about the idea. This is something that when I was on the council 8 years ago, we tried. It didn't work, as was stated. The downtown makeup has changed a little bit. I mean, the parking meters end at 6 o'clock. So if the valet parking is on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night from 6 to midnight, you're only, as was stated, you're only talking about a couple parking meters that are $1 an hour for 3 nights for an hour. So we're not talking, the cost to the city is negligible, but at the same time is how that affects with regard to Riley Plaza. That's all something we're going to work out in committee, see what makes sense. And if it doesn't make, the one thing that when I was talking to Council Madore, and which will come out in committee, is the vendor, the valet parking, is no cost to the city. That's a private group that's going to do it. We're just trying to figure out a way to provide them with space. And if that works, it works. I'd love to see some sort of trial at some point. And if it doesn't work, something that's off the books before we get into October, because October everyone knows what the crunch is for parking. But we'll see how it works. I mean, but that's for the job of the committee to figure out. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. The Council Madore.
Thank you, Madam President, and through you to the Ward 7 Councilor, I apologize if the impression was that there was no information submitted with the order, but there was, and I could maybe speak a little bit briefly to the proposed parking spaces that are being used is the 4 spaces in front of Ledger, and then the southernmost 2 rows of Riley Plaza, specifically for the reason that it's always underutilized and nobody ever parks here during those times. So through some analysis, those were the proposed spaces. And there's meeting minutes from the Traffic and Parking Commission that were attached to the order. So I'm happy to share that with the council members.
Thank you. Okay, so Councilor Terrell.
So if everybody's fine with that, I have no problem withdrawing my motion on that if they want it in that committee. Just seemed like the fit.
Okay. And then Councilor Dibbles, did you amend to
Thank you, Madam President.
have something sent out?
Yes, to simply get the details submitted to all the councilors so that
Okay, yeah. I mean,
all we have before us is 4 parking spaces and 2 rows. We don't talk about the hours, the days, how many spaces,
I mean,
who's benefiting, who's running it. So there's a detailed package to come, real simple detailed package.
Okay, which I'm sure will come out in committee. Okay, so then Madam City Clerk, I'm looking to you right now. How are we making this motion then?
You're going to move for adoption.
Just move for adoption? Okay. So on Councilor Madore's motion to adopt this, which will send it to Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Committee reports. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, January 25th, 2018. Committee on Ordinance, Legislative Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, considers the matter of recommend approval, junkyard, secondhand valuable tag case.
On acceptance of the report? Or, I'm sorry, under discussion.
On discussion briefly, I mean, we met prior, and it's a basic acceptance of the acceptance of.
Okay, so, any further discussion?
No.
Okay, on acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed, matter carries. And
Move for
on adoption of the recommendation, no further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, January 25th, 2018, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the appropriation of $19,383.06 in the Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback to be expended for the fiscal year 18 contractual buybacks for Amy Connolly Library, $14,668.23, and Dennis Ross Building Inspector's Office, $4,714.83, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adopting the recommendation under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is again routine matter of contractual buyback. We thank them for their service to the city. It came in as a late file last week. Otherwise, we wouldn't have even had it in committee.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrio's motion to adopt the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of accepting the Mass General Law, Chapter 59, Section 55K, as amended on November 7th, 2016, to allow the maximum benefit to those residents over the age of 60 who volunteer their services in exchange for reduction in their property tax shall increase from $1,000 to $1,500 to take effect on July 1st, 2018. That was our amendment. Has considered said matter and would recommend approval as amended. And I just read the amendment.
Thank you. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. We met on this earlier tonight. This was a matter that went into committee at the beginning of at our November meeting. We have just increased the number of people who are eligible for the senior tax work-off from 30 to 60. And then this was an additional measure that came into play. We had our Director of Senior Services, we had our Treasurer in, we had the spouse of the Ward 1 counselor who serves our city seniors through the Parks and Rec Department. And I can't remember her title is, I just know she does everything. And so we had them in for a discussion on this issue. And right now we have 33 seniors utilizing the work-off program. We had 30, a couple have left it. We've added a few more people. And looking at the way things were budgeted, looking at this year, we decided the best way to move forward with this, we all agreed that this was worthy to do. There was a little bit of caution about the pace at which we were adding it, because we're going from basically we're adding $60,000 out of the blue if it's fully implemented right away. They do this program based on the calendar year. So we're looking at having this kick in at the beginning of the next fiscal year, so it doesn't mess things up in the current year's budget as much, and also give people who are participating in the program a chance to work off that additional credit during the course of this calendar year. It'd be in the second 6 months that they'd have the ability to do that. So,
thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on the motion to adopt the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. City Salem, in City Council, January 25th, 2018, the Committee on Community and Economic Development co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of home rule petition for an act authorizing a local short-term excise tax of 6% in the City of Salem, has considered said matter and would recommend that this home rule petition be adopted by roll call vote.
Thank you. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adopting the recommendation under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Under discussion, we had a very good, well-attended meeting, some 2.5 hours long, earlier this week, that was well attended by the public, surprisingly, both on this matter and the next matter that I'll be speaking to in a minute. And it was voted on 5-0 in favor of this in an attempt to level the playing field and further protect our neighborhoods throughout the city, that the short-term rentals, Airbnb and VRBO and other rentals, if you would have to pay the same excise tax that our local inns and hotels and motels already have to pay. So it's a leveling of the field. It's a first step, if you would. So again, I wholeheartedly encourage us to adopt this tonight. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the adoption of the home rule petition to the general court for an act authorizing a local short-term rental excise tax of 6% in the city of Salem, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Communications from city officials. None.
No.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. We forgot your other one. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Going back. Sorry. Further committee reports. Councillor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to remind you, this is a very important matter. I'm happy that we did not skip over it.
Yes, then I apologize for that.
City of Salem, in City Council, January 25th, 2018, the Committee on Community and Economic Development co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of discussing air bed and breakfast known as Airbnb, and their impacts on the City of Salem, and creating an ordinance relative to these matters, has considered said matter and would recommend that this matter be kept in committee and a task force be created to draft a short-term rental ordinance.
Thank you. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adopting the recommendation, under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. This was part of that 2.5-hour meeting that we had on the 6% tax that we just approved for first vote, I think it was. The good two new councilors, Councilor Flynn and Councilor Dominguez, volunteered to come on this task force. If you remember, it was Councilor Dominguez, our new at-large councilor, who brought this matter forward before us. So he'll be working with the mayor and some of her staff. These two will be working with them to create, or rather to revise, an existing ordinance that we already have that we weren't aware of. Two members from the public brought this forward. So we'll look at revisions to an ordinance to further protect our neighborhoods. It was the good at-large Councilor Milo who requested a public hearing be had, which I fully support. Actually, the committee fully supported that. Once these revisions come forward, we hold a hearing open to the public, a public hearing where we can gather even more information. So again, the matter was kept in committee, and I'm looking forward to it coming out fairly soon. As soon as the mayor's office tabulates some data that they are collecting and turns it over to our committee, I will immediately schedule another meeting on this and hopefully get it back to the full council as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Dominguez.
Yes, I just want to thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to add that, as you know, Minister, you was here in the public hearing. We have so many in favor and against. And I think that the recommendation that was finally gathered out after the meeting really makes sense. We need to gather more data, and we need to make sure that we really have some regulation in place, because this is a very important issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Dibble's recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Now communications from city officials. None. Petitions.
We have a request from the residents of Raymond Road for a block party from beginning of Raymond Road on Loring to the entrance of Rainbow Terrace on May 5th, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. with a rain date of May 12th, 2018.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that it be granted.
Councilor Dibble's motion that this be granted, under discussion.
Yes, this was a fun one. Often we get these requests from young families because they want some family activities. This one was a little bit different. This is from a 25-year-old who went around and met with a lot of seniors in the neighborhood. And usually I wouldn't speak on a block party to this extent, having hosted a block party in front of my house for the last 29 years. I love block parties. But this one was different. This person is looking to bridge seniors in the neighborhood with the younger people that have kids, and then even the younger people of his age, which is 25. And I applauded his efforts. He's going to be inviting not just his neighborhood, but also all of Raymond Road, Raymond Terrace, and Raymond Avenue. And in addition, Rainbow Terrace, and students from Salem State University who may or may not live in the neighborhood, that might live in the dorms. So really bring the whole neighborhood together. And what a great breakfast he and I had for about 3.5 hours with the good at-large counselor to my right. The enthusiasm is phenomenal. So folks at home, block parties are a great way to bring the neighborhood together. And this young man at 25 years old is bringing it to a whole new level.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Madam President. I happen to know this young person that the good councilor of Ward 7 mentioned. He's a great leader in his community. But not only that, the block party is going to be in front of my house. So I think this is a great opportunity to bring the whole neighborhood together, along with the college and all of the neighbors, and everybody's invited too. So I'm looking forward to be in that block party. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Divel's motion that this be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of license applications for public guides and taxi operators.
Councilor McCarthy.
Waive the reading. You sure the city clerk doesn't want to read all those? I move that these be granted.
Thank you. On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these be granted, under discussion?
No discussion.
On any further discussion? On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a license application for taxi operator Joshua Plummer.
Councilor McCarthy.
Move to be denied.
Councilor McCarthy moves that this be denied, under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further? On Councilor McCarthy's motion that this be denied, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a taxi operator hearing request from Joshua Plummer.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Order, and Legal Affairs and to hold an executive session.
Under discussion.
Under discussion, we already have a meeting planned in the works. I'm going to add this name to that list. I believe there'll be 3 hearings on that night.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion?
No
Seeing
discussion.
none. On Councilor McCarthy's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs to hold an executive session. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 1 secondhand clothing and several tag day applications.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee of Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs. Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further? On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 3 drain later contract operator licenses.
Hang on. What just happened? I don't. Councilor Major?
Madam President, I think we skipped page 18.
No.
No.
No?
It's
No,
continued from the
18
page
was
before.
it was
That's
2
one
pages
big
of
long list. You go to
petitions.
the-
That was the really long one.
Yeah, it was 2 pages.
Right there. I missed that too.
Okay, Councilor McCarthy.
Which one did we just read? I'm sorry.
This was
Because I
the
get
drain
distracted
layer,
when they start pointing at stuff we missed.
drain layer contract.
Oh, I
Operator.
move that be granted.
Councilor McCarthy moves that these be granted. Under discussion.
No discussion, Madam President.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 2 claims.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on Licenses, Ordinances, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 2 constable bonds.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on Licenses, Orders, and Legal Affairs and returned approved.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these matters be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs and returned approved. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business? None. Councilor Fury.
Motion to adjourn, Madam President.
Councilor Fury motions that we adjourn. All those in favor?
All those opposed, we are adjourned.